Okay. Hi, I'm Sandy Lewis, and I've done some workshops before on stick figures, and you can revisit those as well. Emotions, actions, people, all kinds of stick figures. And today, my goal is to just focus in on some animals, really simple animals, show you how to draw them. But then after that, show you what to do with them. I'm going to give you some like 20 of my own drawings that you can use in your classrooms in JPEG format. I'm going to show you how I put them on a Google slideshow, and you can have that as well, and show you some things that you can do with it. And they're yours to work with and to have fun with, because at a certain point you want to go, like, where do you want to go with the drawings? And Michelle and I were discussing that, and I want, like, people to maybe think about, maybe like, would you want to practice with more pictures? What genre of pictures? People, animals, places, things, action words? Would you want to know how to import them into Voces, or how to create stories using the story shuffle? There's so many things you can do with these beyond just drawing, that if you want to, try to, maybe we'll try to get like a survey of something, so you can kind of let us know what you'd like. If you have a pencil and paper and you want to just practice along with me, that would be great. And I'm going to go to the Okia Cam now, and I'm looking at it's not allowing me to do the Okia Cam. FaceTime. No,
Are you on the video thing, Sandy?
I'm on the video, like select a camera, and it was there like 2 seconds ago, as you saw.
Try unplugging and plugging it back in.
Okay.
Yes, I should use.
There it is. Thank you. Blood pressure. Okay. So here we go. This is like, oh no. The pictures I will be doing will be a cat, a horse, a cow, a chick, a duck, an elephant, and a rabbit. And then I will move from that to the slideshow, the Google slideshow.
And can I just pause
Yes,
for a
sure.
second and say, if Sandy's picture is not big enough for you, if you go up to the top right corner of her picture and click on the 3 dots and click pin, it'll become bigger for you, and then you'll be able to see it better.
Okay. And I'm, like I said, I'm not an artist, so I always make sure I have, my eraser in case my circles aren't perfect or whatever. The first one is a cat, and I look at, yes.
Sandy, I'm gonna just say, there's somebody who needs to maybe mute themselves. There are a couple of people who need to mute themselves. And Melissa, if you want to make me co-host, I can mute them for them too.
I'm trying to look and see if I can figure out who it is right now.
I can see who it is. So
Oh, you can? Okay.
yeah. So
just a second.
There you go.
Okay.
It looks like it's taken care of. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Okay. When I look at pictures of animals and people, I'm always into the shapes, the basic shapes. And, this could look like a popsicle, would be, I just draw a circle. And regular pencils work really well with this. Like I love these regular pencils, easy to work with. What I noticed here about the cat was that looked almost like a jumping bar that you would jump over in gym. And I just bring the line down, put a foot, and at the same point at the top, bring it down, and another foot. I bring this over the line underneath the head, and I don't bring the I guess the leg as far as the front one. I bring it about halfway down, and then straight down with the other leg. I make a little foot, and that's the basic shape. And doesn't have to be perfect. I can do the eyes sort of in the upper part of the head. The little nose, it can be a little triangle. And a little half smile to the left, smile to the right. And I like to add little touches that are really easy to do, which is the tongue, which is a little lump right there on the little hook. And of course, the whiskers, you can do anything you want with the whiskers. And always forget the tail. Okay. I tend to get overly dramatic with the tails, so I calmed it down there. I can get really swirly with the tails. And there are other ways to do cats. I don't know what, I try to see, like, what does
Andy,
this
move
look?
it, move it
Oh,
up
yeah.
a little bit.
There we go. So this one, I don't know what this looks like, but
I think it looks like a U. The big part of the face looks
yeah,
like.
almost
a
like, yeah,
U.
there's a U. And if I just make the U form and then bring the pencil to the side, I have ears automatically. I don't have to worry about the ears. The ears are taken care of. And where do I get these pictures? I just look on the internet to see what looks similar to this. And then I say, I need to see what the shape might look like. It might look like a peanut. It might look like a balloon. It might look like a horse that you jump on in gym. I'm always looking for shapes that make me remember it more. I just draw a circle. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, if you look at the legs.
Okay, move it
There
up a
we go,
little
moving
bit
up.
more,
Whoops,
Sandy.
whoops.
Just
Yeah,
a little.
there we go.
There we go. Good.
If
Yeah.
I look at the legs, I'm always having like one leg, like about half the length of the second leg. I see that a lot on the internet when I kind of look for pictures. And like this, sometimes I'll see flat feet. I'll see a lot of this, which is like little bubble feet, which is kind of cool as well. So I could do bubble feet, flat feet. And I don't have to do the cat's eyes. I can just do eyes at the top. You know, two little lines, again with the little triangle, little smile. And then, of course, I don't want to forget my whiskers, because that really shows that it's a simple cat. And then a simple tail. And third cat, not so bad. The third cat is basically just bubbles. I have and this one, if I look at this, almost looks like a pear. I don't have to make it a complete circle. I can make it almost like a pear. And a larger circle for the body. Looks almost like think of it as like a snowman that becomes a cat. And now the feet are sort of, the legs are beginning in the middle of the body. And I can do little bells, I guess, at the bottom, and bring the other line down, another little bell. And this is kind of cool because I go, oh yeah, what could I do that's different? And I saw this. I don't know what it's going to look like, but there you go. If I do the eyes, I don't have to do the cat's eyes if I don't want to. Okay. And I just make the mouth like the others and the whiskers. And let's see. Okay. This one, if I look at the three, I would say the ones that would be easiest for me to make probably would be this one. And these are a little more stylized. This is actually harder to do because of the leg. That would be my take on it. This to me, super easy. And can I move to the next page? How do people feel about that? Okay, so the next one, the horse. I have angsted over horses for so many years because horses, I don't draw the legs usually well. So I usually put lots of grass when in doubt, put them in a forest, right? So what I noticed I looked on the internet and said, oh my gosh, it's a series of like rectangles. That's what it is, it's rectangles. So what I started with was the body. And I made a rectangle, but I didn't close the rectangle off because I would have to erase it because I was playing around with this. Now, this is very cool. I bring the line up at the end, all right? And then I bring a very long, because this is lower, I bring it up like that. So you can see it's kind of like at an angle. I went, okay. And the head is usually very hard, but I went, oh, another rectangle. I went, okay, this is not bad. And as far as the feet, again, you'll notice there's always one leg that's kind of shorter, making looks in the background. There's my first leg. Second leg doesn't have to be as long. I mean, it's too big. Then I have another leg in the back, shorter leg, longer leg, and the tail. Okay. There we go. And this is very cool because if I look at oh, no. I thought I turned that off, sorry. Okay, so.
Everything's fine.
Oh, no, so I have two little triangles and that's his ears. And it almost looks like the ears in the back. If you think about it, it looks almost like a bow, giving him a bow. And eye is there's his eye. And now the mane. Now I would probably, for me, I would erase this and make this snout a little more rectangular like that. So I changed the whole look just by making the face a little longer with a longer rectangle, mane. That's to me is the horse. Really clean, easy. I was experimenting underneath it with how to make a horse like run. And it's the same idea. If I did this, if I had like I guess I'd do the same thing, like, because I was saying, how can I make him run the horse? It's a little more stylized, but I would the opposite way, draw half of or the most of a rectangle, bring the head up like that, and the longer like that. All right, that's pretty good. Now all I have to do is bring a longer snout, a longer rectangle. Give the bow at the top, which is very cool. And the eyes, make sure you have the eyes. And the mane can be just like this. The mane can be like that. He's running, give the illusion of running. Here is the tail, the flailing out there, illusion of running. And I don't have to be stylized with the legs, just out to the left, out to the left, and the back leg that gives the illusion. Bring the leg over and shorter leg over. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it gets the point. And if I do two little lines, boop, now it gives the illusion of running. If I do two little parentheses, I guess you would call them. So I love the horse was so hard for me for so many years until I discovered it's just a series of really simple rectangles. And the cows are interesting. It's all in the snout, right, Michelle? That's when we were talking. If I do a cow, I would make a more of an oval for the head instead of a round head. And I guess the body, to me, like I said, I'm always looking at what does the shape look like? Looks like a balloon that's deflating. What does it look like to you? It looks like almost like a balloon deflating, and it has to be a little rounder like that. Okay. And I like to make things that are sort of like, I don't like to erase a lot, so I try to get away from erasing. So again, feet, no problem with the feet. You can make the feet big because, cows, feet, there's 1, 2, slightly down farther, 3. And you could even have the leg coming out. Tails on I was looking this up, tails on a cow, kind of like there. And here's, even if say to me, people say, well, does it look like a cow? There's the eyes, and the snout is larger than I thought it would be. So, okay, so you say, okay. And 2 little horns. But what makes it the cow is the markings. If you throw some markings in there, for me, even if it didn't look much like a cow, I've got my cow. And I can put the markings in the middle, like a little one in the middle. There's my cow. Like I said, the kids will understand it's a cow. They'll get it. They'll say, okay, they can. And why do I love animals? Because you can personify the animals. It's theater of the absurd. They can do things and fly, and it's absurd. The kids like absurdity and craziness with stories. I love using animals in stories. Okay, and the next one, I love the chick is maybe one of my favorites because it's just so cute. Now the chick it's all in the beak. If I draw a circle for my chick, okay, I got my circle, okay. And the body doesn't have to be very big. The body just attaches to the circle, almost like another circle. So, okay, this is all right. So I've got this chick, and the legs and the little feet, I do like 3, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. And it can be straight down. Little wings, pretty good. And a little tiny, gets a little tail, but it's all in the face with this one. I put my eye almost at the bottom, like that. And I have the beak going straight down. And if I put little dots, that chick is eating some bird feed. He's eating chick feed. So I can do, I did a whole like little tiny ones next to it. It's the same idea, you know, just reverse it. You just do a little circle, a larger circle, which I love doing. There's my larger circle. I love doing chicks because they're fun. And again, the beak is down and the eye is down. It's always looking down, trying to eat. Little feet and a little kind of tail. And you can just have little dots. That could be part of your story. Ducks are interesting. It's all in the beak for me. Even if the duck wasn't perfect, I love doing that. Here's a duck. Okay. And again, circle, circle, circle. A little, I would make this smaller than that. The line, very small line on the left. And I guess looks like a balloon. Like a balloon, I guess, yeah. And I would have my wings, my duck feet. And it's the bill, it's the duck bill that makes this. So you could say, okay, does it look like a bill? Or does it like a duck? Yep, there you go. And I can exaggerate the beak as well. You can do lots of exaggerations with animals. There was some artist, Rickard, I think is his name. He's really fabulous on the internet. You know, always take something with the animal, maybe make it larger, exaggerate. Now, this is my bird. I was just experimenting with birds. I came up with this. I don't know what exactly it is, but it was fun to do. I kept it because I thought it's interesting, if nothing else. All I did was I did this like half circle. And then I don't know what, I started to make like feathers. And I had a very large eye and the wings and the little feet. And it becomes a very strange bird, but it's also very unusual. It's creative. It's different because that's what art is, just about being creative. It's expressing yourself any way you want. So that was, the bird was interesting. So if I can go to the next page, is that okay? How do you feel about that? Okay. So elephants, elephants are my favorite animals, by the way. Not that you need to know that, but they're my favorite animals. Like I love elephants so much. And I wanted elephants. There are so many stylized elephants on the internet that I want something extremely simple. So what I did was I sort of made a large, not a full circle, almost like
Sandy?
an apple. Oh yeah, can you see?
You need to push it up higher.
There we go.
Thank you.
Almost like an apple, I would say. Almost like an apple. And and very large ears. Okay. Okay. Very large ears. And it can we're going up even farther like that. Okay. And what makes the elephant is the body. To me, it's the body, and it's a very wide body. And I sort of have the body attached to the ear almost. It's like part of the ear. Okay. So it's the body that makes it like enormous. Okay. And I erase the bottom part of the apple head, and the trunk to me is wide, right? Michelle, we talked about, because I was like, my trunk wasn't wide enough. So I bring this line down and the trunk, and then watch this is so cool. I just bring it like that. But if I hook it, now it looks like the trunk is bent. All I did was bring this straight at the bottom and hook, boom. now I have a trunk. And what makes the trunk is this, the little lines, the little hooks. And the eyes here, okay? And very large feet, because that, you know, that kind of identifies with the lion, okay? And I just went like this.
Elephant.
Oh, why did I say lion? Oh my gosh, I have lions on the brain. I'm sorry, thank you. So I have the feet, I just go like that. Because elephants, you know, this, like I said, I've always loved elephants, but they're very hard. Does elephants have a little tail? I think, yeah. And if I say, well, you know, I want to change the ears, okay, I can do that. I love elephants. And, you know, if you wanted to make the elephant sad, you can do that. Like I said, just, you know, always into emotions, right?
So
The
sweet.
elephant is angry, okay? I mean, to me, once you have the elephant, then you get into your emotions. If you could just do this, okay? Oh my gosh, you roll the eyes. Becomes an entire story of the elephant and what happened to the elephant. If I'm quizzical, I just go like, what? You know, little question mark above the head. So, you know, I love to give animals emotions as well. And you can use like human eyes and stuff like that on your animals. It's fine. I do that when I actually draw. Can I go to the next page? How does that sound to you? Okay. Okay. So the next one, the rabbit. This looks so much, this rabbit here. When I was playing with it, I went, I think that looks like the Velveteen Rabbit from my childhood, which was one of the best, I loved that drawing in this book I had as a kid. So I went, oh, so this is how I was playing around with this. Okay, here's my rabbit. I started with the legs, almost like it's a W. I started with it and I put the head on top of the legs. Because I like to try different ways. Do I start with the legs, start with the head, start with the body? So those are the legs. And I just take the body and make a little hook like that. Okay. Now the rabbits have long, or they have really big feet. So if I make a hook here in the body and I make a very long foot, that's, you know, rabbits have long feet. And if I still didn't know what it was, I just give them a cottontail. Now it's more like, oh, it's a rabbit. Okay, and I'm going to erase the top so I can get the body in here. And the eyes can be very wide. Okay. A little triangle for the nose. I can color it in black if I want. I do the smile like this. Okay. And whiskers, light whiskers. But what's really important is like the ears, right? So I drew I don't want to make it look like a mouse. So I drew the straight up. I thought straight up was the, you know, for the ears. And then I had a little hook here. But to me, it was all about the legs, the W in the front. It started with a W. So these are some of the animals, like, okay, so I've got the rabbit. And can I go on to the next one? How does that sound? Okay, and I was, because I like birds, I was practicing with the birds that, you know, some of the birds I see on the internet, it looks like a peanut. That looks like a peanut to me. So if I was practicing, like, I'm going to draw a peanut. So I draw a peanut, okay, sort of a peanut. I went, okay, this is even, if I draw a peanut, I've got it. Here's my eyes. I do the beak. Any kind of beak you want. It could be, the beak can be open, the beak can be tiny, the beak can be big. I drew the wing and the feathers at the back. And I can, what would happen if I gave very tiny feet? Okay, really small feet. Well, that changes the whole look. Now it's almost just like, oh, it's a baby. It's a baby. A baby bird.
Cute.
Yeah, you can I love working, like, you change one little thing. Again, I can make the bird sad. I can make the bird sing. Okay. Okay, the bird comes along and sings. The bird speaks German, the bird speaks French. Bonjour, sister bird. I'm going to sing to you. Okay. And I think, okay, so now that is all of the pictures that I wanted to practice. Now, part 2. I'm going to roll my sleeves up. I'm going to take you to what can you do with these kinds of pictures? Because there comes a point where you can practice, and I can practice and draw all the people and animals and places and things. But what do I do with it? I want to make it work. I want to make it work for my classes. So I thought if I were a teacher, I'd say, you know, I have 3 preps. I love drawing and this is fun, but I don't know if I have time to really, really invest a lot in this. So could you help out? I'm going to give you 20 of my pictures and show you what you can do with it. And what I'm going to do now is share my screen, and I'm going to go to the bottom of my screen, Google Slides. I hope you can see this. I'm going to move this over. Can everybody see this at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm going to start the slideshow.
Do you want to go to full screen to make it bigger? Oh, you will when you go to slideshow. Never mind.
Yeah, when I go to slideshow. Yep, I'm going to go to slideshow, and I'm on the first slide. And what my goal was to share several. I love drawing. And like I said, think of what you would like to see next. Do you want to do more drawings? Do you want to know how to put it into Voces? You know, maybe like Michelle, like we were talking about doing a survey or something. What would you like to do? It's all about you, what you need and what you want to work with. So I shared this drawings, which I love. I could have done a bazillion more drawings, places, things like that. And to demonstrate simple stories, you know, how to use them on Google Slides, and then putting them into the Voces. So I found this from Harry Wong. I had another quote, but I couldn't find where the quote came from. But the person who does the work is the one who learns. So we want the students to do the work. And most teachers do so much work. We want the students to do it because we want them to learn. And I have short activities. The activities I'm showing you, you can do like, 15 minutes, 10 minutes over 4 or 5 days. And Harry Wong says that, I shouldn't give you something that would take you 3 years to do or 2 months to do. So here it is, starting it. Here's my vocabulary. Here are my vocabulary words. And I put them into sections. I'm going to change the way the little man is, but I gave you a lion, a cat, a chicken, a horse, an elephant, and a cow. And so, okay, I'm going to give you these. Have fun with them. 4 people. There's an old man on the right, but a boy, or it could be a girl, it's fluid, a baby, an older woman, and an older man. Let me give you some places. A farm, a beach, a street or a city. It could be a street, a city, a garden. And what about actions? Because actions make a story. You can see something, you can want something, you can stop something, or that hand could be, it's not good. It's I don't like this, or I hate this. Something with a book. I love witches. So I put a witch in there, and I put likes, okay, that you love something, like something, and sadness. So what could we do just with these pictures? Okay. Whoops. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to move your pictures over here. Hold on, let me move the pictures of your people. Okay. So I created this strange little story about Zuzu the horse. I did it really quickly because I clicked and picked and put the story together. And you would want to introduce the vocabulary, but how can you do it where the students do the work? And somebody, a teacher friend, we were talking about what to do with vocabulary, and she showed me some different ways to use it. So I adopted that. And I like to have the students, when I was teaching, work in workbooks, notebooks, composition books, because they're doing the work and they tend to save their work. So you might say, if you take out I'm going to put these up on the board, take out your composition books, and you're going to copy these vocabulary words. Whoops. And what you do is people relate pictures to vocabulary words. That's, the brain attaches a picture to things. I was telling somebody that I can look at anything around you, anything, and you will have a story behind it, even if it's one sentence. If I just looked at this pencil, I'd say, I went to the store and got the pencils, could not find the pencils, but I finally found these in, Target. And, I have a story behind that. No matter what I look at, There's a story behind it. So I'm just using French here, but you can actually change these to whatever language you want. Voir, and there's the picture, sees, and there's the English. And immediately you put it into a sentence with the pictures. You could hide this and say, what do you think this is saying in English, in your own language? The guide sees the door. And it could be, le guide voit la porte. Okay, you just say, okay, now copy this in your notebooks. You can draw pictures if you want, but this is your small dictionary. That's the first picture. And then la ferme. Now, you could say, well, that's really nice for a novice level, but what if I'm teaching French 3, Spanish 3, Spanish 2? You can take any one of these pictures like the farm and make it into a higher level sentence. Level 1 could be, they have fun on the farm. One day, the 3 friends discovered a farm. That's a higher level. So you can match it to any level that you want. They copied in their notebooks. Okay. Le jardin, the garden. And there's the picture of the garden. I have a picture that I did of a museum. So the garden is very big. That's a novice level. We had the biggest garden in the city. Okay. That's a superlative, higher level, easy to do. You can switch it to any level you want just by putting in a different tense. La sorcière. I threw in pictures because I love throwing in pictures randomly. What can I do with this sentence? The witch and the elephant love the class. Basic. The witch and her pet elephant loved to surprise our class, which I thought was, a different way to look at it. But you can put any kind of sentence you want in there. And here's the baby, the enfant. Okay. I thought, okay, baby and class with what? Grandma? Okay. The baby enters the class with grandmother. Okay. But it's not so much the pictures, is what can they do with it? Can they understand using visuals? And I would tell the kids, these are real simple pictures. It's not about the pictures. It's about you telling me a story. Can you tell me? And then that gives the students a feeling of success because they're seeing they have a skill. That's the skill. It's not just the pictures. It's like the skill is you. Okay, you're doing the work, kids. The baby enters the class with grandmother, or the baby went to visit the class with grandmother, her teacher. Okay, grandma was a teacher. Okay, 6, the enfant. Oh no, I'm going to change this because I made it into the boy, or it could be a girl. So the boy says class is hard. I love this. Ugh, hard. I'm giving that picture too. The boy says class is hard. The student does not like class because he thinks it is very hard. Okay, or the girl. So I'm just going to change that before I send it off to Marie. So again, any level you want, and you can use this like another, it's hard to work on the farm. Okay, you can use it any way, how you want. So that was just an example of what I would, and the students can draw pictures if they want. They can illustrate their at their level. I said, look, this is a stick drawing. I'm sure you can do better than me. I'm not looking for stylized drawings, I would tell them. And then they feel better about that because it's like, okay, she's not looking for Picasso. She's looking for me to understand what I've written. So part 2, I love this. Okay. Part 2 could be, okay, what if we're practicing this? You're writing. Yeah, I mean, you're writing the sentences. We're going over the sentences. I'm giving you dictations on how to spell them. Now, what if I give you pictures? Can you write a sentence? And this is one way to give the students how to write in their notebooks. This time you'll be writing. Look at the pictures. Number your sentences 1 to 5. I've given you 5 examples. Make it clear and simple as you possibly can. What I would tell students is give me simple. If it's complicated, I don't want to see it. When I said simple, kids were like, okay, I can give you simple. Every kid can give me simple. And that means they were less likely to go to Google Translate. And I would have them do it in class versus at home because they would come up with like the passé simple and, the plus que parfait and all these incredible tenses because they were afraid they had to impress me. Don't impress me, give me simple. And it didn't have to be complicated. So I love this section here. Okay, here you go. Whoa. So you have a chicken, that line, and the street or the city.
So you would show this to students, right, Sandy?
Yes, I would show this to the students and say, okay, so what do you think? raise your hand. What do you think? Okay, le poussin jumps, could be goes, could be walks, right? To the city. Okay. So a sample interpretation. I say, tell me what you think. Le poussin va en ville. Le poussin saute dans la rue, jumps in the street. So I say, here is chick is in the city. Okay, now this would be in the actual language that you'd be teaching. Okay. And the chick goes to the city. So I say, okay, whatever you have is good because you're interpreting it. I have this. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. The cow and the heart. And, you'd say, okay, what do you think's going on? And I would keep reinforcing, I want to see what you can come up with for communication. That's what I want to see. So maybe the cow loves the cat. Could be. I click it. Okay, well, higher level. The lonely cow was so happy to see her friend, the cat. Okay. Or the cow and the cat are friends, but you can say at a higher level, what can you do with this? You could say, okay, the cow loves the cat. Can you add something to it? The black and white cow loves the cat. The cow loves the cat a lot. You can say, what can we do to add to this sentence? And okay, here's the horse. The horse and the beach. All right. So someone could say the horse goes to the beach. Le cheval va à la plage. The horse runs to the beach. Or even Zuzu is going to be a story. Galloped quickly to the beach. Okay. So that's a higher level. And this one is like, the boy or the girl wants the city or to go to the city with the lion. I sometimes put absurd sentences in there because the kids can really, it's absurd. Okay. And I'll fix this up because I want to make sure that this says the young man wanted to visit the city with his lion. Okay. That's a higher level. Okay. The boy wants to go to the city with the lion. Okay. And I love this wants because that's just so clear. It's pretty stylized to draw, but I thought once I had it, I can use it forever now. And part 3 is now I've got a story. Okay. I just literally went to town with this. I said, let me just see what I can come up with. You can change the language. You can change. Yes.
There's a question.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Do the students write their interpretation in English or in the target?
In the target language, because I'm putting it in English in case if I put it in French, but you don't know French because you're a German teacher or an Italian teacher or a Spanish teacher. I thought, let me put it in English so you can put it in the language that you want. If you had a student who was really struggling, you say, would you say, put it in English? We'll see what we can do and put it into French or Spanish or German or the language. You could actually do something like that for a student who's really, really scared. But I would say to the student, I want simplicity. I want simplicity. So I created this story working up towards a story using all these pictures I'm giving you. Okay. And it's Zuzu and the witch. Okay. This is in English, but you could transpose this very easily on the Google slideshow into the language that you want. There is a horse. His name is Zuzu. Zuzu lives in a book. He is not real. And what you do is you've got the pictures and you could take the words away and say, what do you think's going on in the story? And then plop in the words. Okay. Very easy to do that. Zuzu wants a farm. Or Zuzu wants to live on a farm. Zuzu wants to visit a farm. It could be anything you want, but for me, he wants to live on the farm with chicks because I like drawing chicks. That's why I use them. Zuzu is sad. On the farm, the chick wants to help Zuzu. The chick sees a witch. Again, you can take the words away, see what the kids are saying. The chick says, stop to the witch, stop. I love that. Stop to the witch. And of course, the witch stops. The chick says, Zuzu lives in a book. He is not real. He wants to live on a farm. Poor Zuzu. And I just played with like the pictures. The witch says, watch this. I can play with Google. Okay. Poof. Zuzu is real. He lives on a farm. Zuzu is not sad now. He is happy. And that is the story. Now, what I've done is, okay, I've got this story. I've played with it, but the goal is all roads lead to Voces. So I'd like to share with you the Voces activities I put into Voces, which I'm sharing the share code with you. So you can also change these words to whatever language that you're using. I just happen to put them in French. So here are the workshop activities. I put in a vocabulary list. The students have a list. One of the things I would do, yes.
Do you want to make it full screen?
Oh
so
yeah, let
that
me make it full
you
screen.
can see it easily? Just the green button on the left in the top. You go further to the left. That green button. Yeah, right there. No, the green one. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I was like frozen there. What I used to love to do was say to the students, okay, you've got these vocabulary words. Give me 3 sets. I want the hardest words, the medium, and the easiest words. If you were going to be the teacher, you pick out the words that you would want to test students on. You pick them out. And they would like, oh, teacher, I can do this. They loved taking words and putting them into lists, but it became a personal list. Now I've got a skill. You're a teacher. You choose the words. Then it would say, okay, you pick a word out. Okay, la fille. All right, the girl. Give me a number between 5 and 10. 6. All right. Make a simple sentence with 6 words. No more, no less. Do N apostrophes count? Yes, they do. That's a word. N apostrophe is a word. Students love that because they would say, who can get the simplest sentence? And they would be counting. So it's a skill. They're counting the words. They coming up with something simple, another skill. They're all skill and they're doing the work. So what I did was I plopped in the pictures. Look at the picture and match it to the word. It's clean. It's simple. It's not complicated. You got lots of space on the page. So the brain is not overloaded with pictures. And I just said, take a look and match it to the word. There you go. After we played around a few, 10 minutes each day, and then listen to the questions. And I said, like, I could actually, at any level, you can give them your opinion. It counts. It's a skill. And I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know.
What is your opinion? Listen to the choices, look at the pictures to help you, and record your answer. J'aime les fermes. Je n'aime pas les fermes.
So I've got love and not love. And I'm giving them the choices. So it's not like I have to invent anything. I'm giving them the choices and it makes them feel really, and I say, try to sound really, really good when you're doing it. Worked really well. And I've got 5 of these, 4 or 5. Then this is even, oh my gosh, I had so much fun with this. This one, I wouldn't have them type the answer in, only, I just wouldn't want them to go to Google Translate. But these, what can you do with this? Okay. All right, come up with something. I see the witch on the farm. I saw the witch on the farm. Oh, really basic ones, but they feel successful because they're coming up with something. And the grandmother is sad. Can you add to it? The old grandmother is sad. The young grandmother is sad. My grandmother is sad, because you can ask them to add to these things. And there's the elephant loves the farm, and the cow stops the old man. We don't know why, but it stopped the old man somewhere. So I'm going to go back to this and get back to stop the video. And it's about 45 minutes. So I'm hoping that I'm going to give you this. You can have this slideshow and the JPEGs. So if you want to use this in a story format, all you need to do is just change the language. That's all you have to do. So I'm giving that to you. So you can say, all right, I'm really stressed. I've got 3 preps. I've got 3 different levels with the preps. I've got French 1, French 2, and French 3. I've got Spanish and French. You don't want to be inundated now with pictures going, now I have to draw pictures. So I'm giving you these pictures. Just use them in your classroom. And and my other thing is, what would you want to see? If you said, yeah, this is kind of interesting, it's intriguing, would you want to draw more pictures? Would you want to see how to import them into Voces? Would you story shuffle? I have contacted somebody at Voces to see if they could do story shuffle just with pictures. They like that idea, by the way, because pictures, the brain, the studies show over and over again, the brain connects a picture with the word. And life is visual. Students will say, I'm very visual, Miss Lewis. No, we're all visual. we're all visual, which is really good. So if you I'll get Michelle like some kind of a survey, like what would you want? If you want to put it in the chat, and for Michelle, like what would you want to see? I want to see action pictures. What kind of action words would you want to see? Would you say like, I want to see running, choosing, eating, sleeping, getting up, studying? What words, if you were going to make a story that was similar, these were basic words I could use in a lot of different ways if I had pictures. Story shuffle. How would I use it in story shuffle? How would I use what we're doing for pictures in story shuffle? How to import all these pictures? How did I get them into the Voces? Because I can do it like really fast, but you say, can you show us? Because now we have some kind of meat, or tofu, we have something to grab onto. We have tofu, something good, wonderful that we can we can use. But now I want to put it into Voces, because once it's in Voces, it's in a home now. And once you get those vocabulary words in Voces, now they're in story shuffle for your unit. Now you've got so much more going on. So that's my presentation.
That was awesome, Sandy.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Does anyone have any questions for Sandy?
I overwhelmed
really
you.
Nice comment. Sandy, there are a lot of really nice comments.
I love doing this. And my thing is it's all about sharing. So it's like, I love storytelling. I love stories. I love drawing. So what if you had something to grab onto?
So it looks like Lucian has a question or comment.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You did not explain how to do to put the pictures on the Voces, did you?
No, because that's like, it's like almost 50 minutes, but that's another, like, how do we put them in? It's not hard, but
no, that's fine.
How it's done. Yeah.
But
that's another thing. Yeah.
Is it easy to do? How do you put on the slides? Is this an easier way?
On the slides, if you've got the JPEG pictures coming to you,
okay,
what you need to do is to just plop them into the slides, because Google Slideshow is very, very easy to use. And it's a great base. It's sort of like your, steps. And then you go, oh, it's like the Wizard of Oz. There's this, Emerald City. Voces is the Emerald City. And you get there and you say, now look what we can do with this. Like I said, so many things in Voces, because it's the only program I've ever seen where you become the creator. You become the author. And you can do whatever you want. No other program allows you to do that, but Voces at all. You create and you use Voces as your, it's like I said, Home Depot. It's like the Home Depot. Go down that aisle. You can find something wonderful. Go down that aisle. Oh, look at the paints. Look at the snow shovels. It allows you to do more than I've ever seen any other program in my whole career. So, and like I said, if anybody wants, Marie, I'll show people like, how do you put it into Voces? I can show you how to do this. It's basic, but you need to see how it's done to be able to say, okay, now I can do this. Yeah. Because you're putting pictures in that you've never done before. And so there you go. Yeah, I can, yeah, we'll talk about getting something out we can show you.
Teresa.
Yes.